Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Good day, everybody. It is October and it is fall, and before we know it, it is going to be a new year. And I can't believe how fast 2018 has gone by, and we're heading into a new year. And every time there's a new year that comes around, it's exciting to me that we have a chance to renew some of the things that we've been doing in the past year to see if we could make improvements, and I always try to do that. I don't beat myself up too much, but I'm always looking for ways to improve and to be better. And it's a wonderful thing that happens when you start to really enjoy the changes that come about in your life and find fun ways to make things better. But it wasn't always that way for me. And it's an amazing thing that we have. Not only do we get a new year every year and start a new calendar year, our bodies are constantly remaking our bodies all the time on a continual basis. And it's going to make you a new you this year in every regard. And it's really kind of fascinating when you look into that. For instance, did you know that your lungs are only 2 to 3 weeks old at any given time? And the cells in them are constantly renewing themselves. The same with your gut. This is being repaired every 2 to 3 days. They're getting new cells and you're getting new lining in your gut. The hydrochloric acid in your stomach that is designed to kill harmful substances that are harmful bacteria, harmful yeast and things. That's why you have that in your stomach. It's so powerful that it can even pickle steel and make it and break it down and break it apart. But it can also eat you from the inside out. So it remakes itself every couple of days. And you need that powerful acid in your stomach to help keep you well. The surface layer of your skin is new every 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, you're just a living entity that is constantly renewing itself. And your liver is new every 5 months. Every cell in your body has a limited time to live. Red blood cells live for an average of 4 months, while white blood cells live on an average of about a year. And we really become essentially new people, and a new cell has replaced every cell in your body within a year. And we are only as healthy as our cells, and this depends on the quality of the nutrients we take into our body and our ability to absorb those nutrients and then release its waste. And detoxification and digestion, they're just huge jobs in your body. And for your 100 trillion microbes that help do 50% of the detoxification in your gut. We have 1,000 of pollutants in our environment that we ingest and breathe every day. And so our body it's got a huge task ahead of it, keeping us healthy and making all of our cells new and healthy cells. So, what is your body going to use to make your cells this new year? The foods you eat become you, and the body's innate genius and its intelligence is so busy using the things that you feed it to make this vessel that you walk around in. It's very, very cool when you think about it. But that's not all that's going on. The neurons in your brain are literally a chemical factory. And I've really gotten into this this last year, in the last couple of years. I really started to understand all different kinds of the way that our brain is working, the neurons in our brain, how we connect to our gut, and how fascinating it is to really dive into that and understand it. Stronger than any pharmacy, there are chemicals that are made in your brain and in your gut that make you natural drugs. And they send signals to your body. For instance, more than 100,000 chemical reactions go on in your brain every single second. Among the brain's many jobs is to be your own chemist. The brain produces more than 50 identified active drugs. It makes it, not drugs you ingest. Your brain is making these chemicals in your body, and they're going into your body, sending through the signals that it makes in the brain and through the gut to make actually natural drugs. The brain has a direct effect on the stomach. For example, the very thought of eating can release the stomach juices before food ever gets there. And this connection kind of goes both ways. A troubled stomach can send signals to your brain, just as a troubled brain can send signals to your gut. And so therefore, a person's stomach or intestinal distress can be the cause or the product of anxiety, stress, or depression. Like it's a two-way street. So we got a serious amount of things going on every day in our bodies. And we're kind of just walking around never thinking of it unless we want to change something or unless we're sick or if something's wrong. And what really makes us change? Well, for me, it was pain. I couldn't keep going on the way that I was. My body was sick. It was yelling at me loudly. And I believe that when we get sick, that it's the warning sign. It's our body sending out a signal to us that something is wrong. And I really thought my body had betrayed me with sickness and disease. And that really kind of broke me. It broke my spirit. And I got depressed and I was struggling in this vicious cycle trying to change. But change felt really, really hard to me and overwhelming. And I was so far from where I wanted to be that it just seemed like a huge mountain to climb, and it really broke me. But as the great poet Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. And help was on the way for me, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't perceive it. And I had no idea what it could be. It was just a black, dark cloud over me. But I prayed and begged for help, and I walked around every day and repeated these words to myself all day long. The answers will come to me. I just know they will. I'm not supposed to live this way. Help is on the way. It's coming. The answers will come, and they will find me. And come they did, in the form of foods that sat on my counter and made billions of unseen helpers that healed me from the inside out. And in order for me to change, I had to engage all parts of myself. And I had to find hope even when I didn't think it was there. And for me, that was just repeating those words over and over again. I was trying to ignore the pain and doing my best to do everything I could to make it better. But when I couldn't do anything else, I just tried to turn my mind away from it so that I could find hope. Because often the answer is a different vibration than the struggle that you're in. And you have to get off of it a little bit, get off the subject a little bit so that you can find the answers that you're seeking. And then I took some physical steps that helped. And that was embracing these foods that came to me by making a habit out of them, by making a kefir smoothie every day. There was this still small voice inside of me that said, make the kefir. And it was easy to do. It wasn't hard. And that one thing changed everything for me. I couldn't go a day without my smoothie because when I did, my joint pain would return and my high blood pressure would come back. So I kept drinking it every day. And it became a habit for me. A habit is something you may not know you are doing. But once you realize you are doing it, you can stop doing it or keep going. And if you know you're doing it, then it really becomes a choice and not a habit. So why don't we stop doing things that bring us negative consequences into our life when we do them? It's perplexing, isn't it? I mean, you just know somewhere deep inside that if you could just master a few areas of life, you could live up to the potential that you have inside of you. And once you keep practicing things, they become automatic. And when you're faced with a decision, you're always going to choose the thing that will bring you the most relief in that moment. Unless you retrain yourself to do the opposite or get yourself in a place of a crisis that will make you change. I see this again and again, but there's also another way, a kinder, gentler approach. And this is kind of what I did. And it involves reaching beyond what you presently live out every day. You know, we're basically running a software program in our brain. We do the same things every day. We see the same people. We have similar experiences every day. And what happens when we do that, our bodies wire our neurons to expect the same things over and over again. So, for instance, we don't have to think about putting our foot on the gas. We just know how to do it. And so our body trains us to do those things. And that's why we are trained to eat certain foods, because we've trained ourselves that way. So we have emotional connections to food, things that we do every day that we're kind of like on a software program. It is the little things that we do every day that make up the fabric of our lives. But it also makes up the neuron connections in our brain that reminds us of who we are and who everyone else is around us and is running this program. And if we do things over and over again, we create new neurons and new habits and new associations. And when we want something to change, we seldom know how to do it. So it takes a little bit of willpower in the beginning. But once we start to do something over and over and over again, we wire and fire neurons in our brain to help us and assist us to make that a program that runs all the time. 16 years ago, I never dreamed I would be eating and making these cultured probiotic foods and teaching others to do it too. My life consisted mostly of just getting through my day because I felt so awful. Trying to survive, take care of my family, my needs, my personal needs were on the back burner. But I kept getting gentle nudges that felt like something was trying to help me. I was constantly being reminded that I was so much more than the way that I was feeling at the present moment. I would read books, I would listen to lectures online, and I would ache inside because I wanted to change and be well. And not just my body, but my spirit was so hungry, and I really didn't know what to do. Many years ago, I started with making kefir. I couldn't find the happiness and joy I was seeking because I was just plain sick. I mean, I felt so bad that I just wanted to get through the day. And as little and as insignificant as it sounds, making a kefir smoothie every morning or just having kefir in some way started a spiral of events that would lead me here and make me think that I could help people who were suffering because I felt so well. I'm still the girl who sat at home and watched other people change their lives and would hurt inside because I wanted to do the same, but didn't know how to do it. And this was how I did it. It was so simple that anyone could do it. One day at a time, I tried to turn my mind away from sickness and disease, and I just started making a smoothie. It was the answer to so much change in my life, and it was just one habit that I did that really changed everything because it made me feel better almost right away. Within a few weeks, I felt unbelievably better. When I began to feel better, my spirit lifted and the world around me started to change. And little things started to mean so much to me. The kindness of strangers holding doors for me, my husband getting my favorite blend of iced tea, watching my oldest daughter Macy heal and so many of her friends from all different manner of diseases. And if it were the healings that were happening all around me, life took on a new meaning. I was feeling better. My diabetes was gone. My high blood pressure was gone. My depression was gone. I had more energy. My life started to be filled with helping others. And the pain that I went through, it just brought so much meaning to my life. It wasn't for naught. It really changed everything for me. One night when I was sleeping, I had a dream, and it was a very vivid dream, and I was sitting on the shore by the water, and I was talking to an old man and asking him questions. And I asked him this question in my dream that said, "Why have I been so sick, and what does all this mean?" And he looked at me with very kind eyes and said, "Often someone will allow themselves to become sick so they can seek the answers. They will find the answers and share them with others, so they can be well too." When I woke up, I wrote it down, and I never forgot that dream. Why do we struggle with sickness and disease? I mean, life is a journey, and nobody's life is perfect, and everybody has contrast in their life. There's so many things to be learned, but if we didn't know what we didn't want, we wouldn't know what we wanted. I'll never know for sure if the things that happened to me were a result of my strong desire to help others, because I've always loved that. I've always loved sharing with others the things that I have learned. And the older I get, the more I see the wisdom in the struggles in my life. And I'm just so grateful for them because they changed so much in my life. So, why do we become sick? Do we do it to help others, or do we do it to learn and understand the things in life? The longer I live, the more I know that nothing is a coincidence. I know that we are loved. I know that we are guided. And I do know that all we have to do is ask for help. It is like following breadcrumbs that lead us to the life our heart is really longing for. And even though there's sickness and disease at times in our lives, the light is always shining down the road. And when we find those answers, we become a light to others that they can follow. It was just a kefir smoothie that changed it all for me. It wasn't even more than 3 ingredients. It was peaches and kefir, and I think I put stevia in it. I think that was it. And that was the answer to my cries for help. I would have never guessed that. But it led me to a life that I couldn't have even imagined when I was so sick. And it has made all the difference for me. And nothing is more important than to have a body that feels good, because when you do, you have energy and you have hope and you have just a happiness about you that makes you want to help your brothers and sisters, because we're all in this together. We all need each other, and we all need each other's special gifts. Each one of us has special gifts. And I didn't even know I had special gifts. But thank goodness I got sick, because I would have never found that, writing would be a wonderful thing for me. I never knew I even would like to do that. And it opened up my heart when I got sick and allowed me to find treasures that were hidden down below the pain and the disease that I was feeling. One of my favorite quotes is from Marianne Williamson. And she says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be? Brilliant, gorgeous, talent, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." That's Marianne Williamson. And I hope that will mean something to you. It has meant the world to me. Let your light shine, people. Change one habit in your life this week and just watch. It could make all the difference. It made all the difference for me. Have a great week. And as always, thank you for listening and sharing a few minutes with me out of your day. It means the world to me.